Thank you for tuning in. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. We hope your experience is fruitful. Please feel free to visit our website to find out how you can join our growing family. While we are loading your experience, please do us a quick favor and hit that like button from whichever platform you're watching or listening on. Also, share so others may enjoy as well. And we hope you would consider hitting that subscribe or follow button so you can check out more of our amazing content. All right, let's start the show. What's going on, kings, queens, and the entire spectrum in between? It is your boy Kwame, and I am back with another episode of Kwame Speaks. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm super excited to join in with you guys today because I have an amazing human being on today. Hey, Inspired, thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you, Queen. Y'all, do me a quick favor because today's episode is really special. We conducted a survey, and when I say we, I mean Pyro Media conducted a survey between June of 2021 and July of 2022. And this survey is going to be I'm going to bring up some of the questions and some of the results we have from the survey, but I wanted to make sure that we had someone on here that can kind of talk and live and explain what life as a first lady and as just overall amazing boss Black woman is about, and so I wanted to kind of talk about that and have that kind of conversation. You guys know that I interview a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of thought leaders, a lot of professional leaders and leaders and community leaders overall. So I'm really excited to kind of introduce to you guys introduce to some, bring awareness to others, the one and only my spiritual mother herself, the one and only co-pastor Kimberly M. Ervin. Y'all throw some flames up for her, yo. What's going on, Mama?
Hey. What's up, Kwame?
How are you?
I'm fabulous. I couldn't be better.
You look cool, calm, and collected.
I am. I'm cool because I'm in the house, but it's a million degrees outside.
Yes. And for those who have followed me on social media, I expressed my conversations with God over this weekend because I would like him to have a conversation with Mother Nature.
Please.
What's going on?
Please.
It's hot.
It is terribly hot.
It's ridiculous. Hey, Dr. Ho, how you doing, sir? Thank you for joining. Yes, y'all throw them flames in there for co-pastor up in here. We are so excited to have you up here.
Love it.
Now, co-pastor always she always gives me a side eye sometimes when I say, hey, you want to come on? I got some stuff we can talk about. Like, what are we going to talk about?
I had to check in and see what you
Right. What you got me into? Right. But you are safe. I promise you. We always have a safe.
I'm so aware of that. Yeah. I know.
Hey, Amy Jones, how you doing? Thank you for joining. Appreciate you, Amy. Just Dominic is in the house. That's right, the founder and CEO of Bullet in Flight Radio. Yes. We know. Dominic knows co-pastor very well because you interviewed on Bullet in Flight Talk as well. Yeah. Check that interview out. Yeah. That was really. It was a really good interview, by the way. And also your show that we have produced by Pyro Media Productions called Coffee with Kim, affectionately known by the production department as K-Walk.
You call it.
Yes, we call it K-Walk. It's Coffee with Kim. You guys can check it out on Pyro Media Network, or you can go over to Bullet in Flight Radio, which it airs on there as well. So thanks for joining in, Dominic. Hey, Ray, what's going on? Thank you for joining. Hey, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm really excited about this episode. This past month, I've just been having amazing human beings on the show this past couple of months, actually. I had Hope Giselle on here. We talked about a lot of different things in living in truth. We had Nina, Never Ending Nina. We had Dr. Dante Morrison on there. We had just recently last week interviewed Emmy award-winning TV editor and producer TJ Mercer. I'm so happy to have the one and only Queen co-pastor Kimberly Ervin on today. So she is not only just the first lady and co-pastor of Church One Ministries, but she is she's just dope, y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you, y'all. Listen, we're gonna talk about First Lady business on today, okay? And like I said, we introduced co-pastor Kimberly M. Ervin. Now, I asked you for your title because I know you're American Family Therapist, but you said that they changed it to AMFT.
Yeah, because I'm not fully licensed yet, so I have to have either an A before it or an I after it.
Yes. Okay, awesome. So it's just it's a certification then.
Yes.
But you can still practice and
yes,
stuff.
I can practice under another person. Yes.
Yes, awesome.
Yeah,
yes. Okay, I just want to make sure because these girls out here they be asking questions, be like, "Oh wait, what's the legitimacy?" So I just want to make sure.
It's all good. I would want to know too.
Listen, but we also want to introduce it. Like I said, you're not just a co-pastor, you're not just a first lady, but you are also a mom. A wife. Look at that beautiful.
Look at my family.
Yes, those are the amazing creations of Bishop W. Todd Ervin and co-pastor Kimberly Ervin.
Those are my babies.
Those are amazing human
beings. And my hubby.
Yes, and your hubby, which y'all can see him on It's Just Kim every bi-weekly on Fridays, and you can catch up on all of the other the episodes right on here on Pyro Media Network. If you haven't done so already, please go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe as well if you haven't done so.
Yeah, that was at his 60th birthday party that we gave him.
God bless. Yes, come on, 60. And doesn't look a day over 25.
I'm trying to tell you.
Black don't crack up in here.
Not at all.
Look at this beautiful family. Just all the gorgeous.
Oh, thank you. Look at that.
Yes. Look at it. Look at Black excellence right there.
Oh, check you out.
Yes. Look, I'm just gushing. I'm gushing over my parents. I love
it. Oh, me and the only boy.
Now listen, I have to be careful because when I tell you I'm a mama's boy, but when I tell you that William Jr. is a mama's boy, you don't take kindly to everybody taking his mama. So I have to be careful. We love William Jr. We do.
Yeah, he don't mind shit. Oh, those are my big girls.
Yes. And then we have. And today we want to give a special shout out to the matriarch of the Ervin. Yes, Granny Ervin. Happy heavenly birthday. Yes. We love you and we miss you.
Yes.
You are a gem and you did everything awesome. We love you and I just loved her. She always
that's so special.
I miss her. She's awesome. Yes, on to Black excellence. More. And I have to gush over Mama.
Hey.
Pictures taken by Pyro Media Productions. Thank you.
Yes.
Shout out to Pyro Media Productions.
Look at that.
Yes. Look at just glowing.
How these pictures have aged because of the glasses.
Right. All right, you guys. Now, I usually bring on my guest after I kind of go through some of the spiel of what the show is about. But I want to talk to you guys a little bit about what's going on. I saw this article talking about the emotional lives of Black women. And I'm actually going to put in the comments right here so you guys can take a look at the hold on, let me see. I love a big family. I come from a tribe myself. Hubby cleaner than a board. Come on now, hubby cleaner than a board of health. I know that's right. Hey, Cupcake, thank you for joining, Queen. Nothing like family. Indeed. Yes. But I'm going to throw in this article here. And at your leisure, you guys, please definitely take a look at it. It is an amazing article. And basically, I took this excerpt right here that talks about Black women face more stress related to work, finances, family, responsibilities, racism, and discrimination and trauma. Combined with this life stress, I often hear, who is the writer, I often hear about our Black women talk about feeling an intense pressure to succeed and not wanting to let their family or community down. And that's an excerpt from Northwestern Now. definitely check it out when you're at your leisure. Now, this is something that I hear from Black women all the time, just in my interaction with them, just in conversations that I have with them. It is just something that is just prevalent in the thought frame in how just Black women are wired, right? And so they're facing this on a daily basis, and we often see Black women in just visually from social media. We often see Black women just kind of operate on a day-to-day basis, and they look like superwomen. I follow this amazing. I think you introduced me to her. She's a therapist. Her name is Raquel Martin, and she on social media, and she talks about taking off the cape, and she's telling women to take off the cape because oftentimes they're pushed onto saying, oh, you're Superwoman, you're Wonder Woman, you're all of this or whatever, but when are you going to take a break for yourself, right? And so it leads me into this next conversation about Black women pressures, and a lot of the pressures that Black women face on a day-to-day basis that we may or may not see often. And so the National Center for the National Center for Biotechnology Information Advances Science and Health by providing access to advances science and health by providing access to biomedical and biomedical information. My God, tongue twisters today. I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I put the link in for this as well, because this is another amazing I found. And it says studies have observed that Black women may be excessively burdened by physiological impacts of chronic stress caused by health disparities associated with chronic stressors, including perceived discrimination, neighborhood stress, daily stress, family stress,
acculturated.
Thank you. Environmental stress and maternal stress. It's a lot of big words. I mean,
the rescue, right?
So I saw this article, and this article, obviously, like I said, is from the National Center for Biotechnology.
Very nice.
And here is one of the graphs that was associated with this particular article. Use your fingers, Kwame. I know, right? Let me go ahead and use the fingers. Hold on one second. Okay, let me see if I can enlarge this because I can't see it here. There we go. All right, so it says, what are the top sources of stress for women? And they are health, family, relationships, safety of children / raising Black kids, being head of household / single parenting, and finances. And then it asks what stresses relate specifically to Black women, and it's emotional eating. I guess they're the same, being head of household / single parenting and finances. And in what ways do these stresses influence women's weight? Emotional eating, no time for exercise, eating fast food due to lack of time or money for healthy foods. Now, what are your thoughts on all of that? I know that was like a lot.
It is a lot, but I can resonate with quite a bit of it. Just thinking about sometimes, let me say this. Let me back all the way up. So sometimes you don't know that you're in a situation until someone points it out to you.
Yes.
And so I think for Black women, and I mean, I speak for every Black woman, but for some or most, part of why we have had all these stressors for so long is that we didn't realize that they were stressors. We didn't realize that we were under stress.
Yeah.
We thought we were doing what we do, taking care of our families, going to work, providing, dealing with, raising Black sons. I used to tell my son all the time when he was a teenager, you keep me with a very good prayer life. And not because he was bad or wild or anything, nothing like that. I mean, he was a boy, but the fact is, he was a Black man out in the streets. And our Black males, they're seen as adults. They're not seen as boys or teenagers, or they're seen as grown men. When it comes to the police and other people, other races, they don't see our boys as children.
Yeah.
And so that can be very scary for a mom whose son, you can't keep them locked up in the house,
Yeah.
so it's just kind of like, gosh, do I let my son go out and get in this world and deal with certain things and, have certain experiences? So that is a stressor in and of itself, and the overeating and all of that. Yes, so many, because we have a lot of single moms who have to work, sometimes not just one job, but two.
Yes.
They're taking care of their children that they're raising on their own. So by the time they work that second job, come home, pick these kids up from wherever they are, they don't have time to cook. So they're running to Taco Bell or running to McDonald's or running, and I used to say that they, and I do feel like that this is true for some of these fast food places, but they keep the prices low. So you keep feeding your children because that's all you can afford.
Yeah.
My God, some of these places you go to now, I swear, if I go to McDonald's and I spend less than $7 or $8 on just me, I've done something, or I haven't gotten that much. So it's really difficult for us as women, Black women, especially, to take care of our children, take care of our homes, and then motivate our children to do well when they see us struggling, and then motivate them to have a faith life because they see us struggling.
Yeah.
So we do have these stressors, just being transparent, here of late, I took some time. I had to step back from work myself because I was stressed out. And, I know, because, I work with you all the time. And you could see me, I was in a tailspin. I had to just start backing up off of a lot of things.
Yeah.
And I realized that one of my bigger stressors, because my kids are raised, and not that I don't think or could be concerned about them, but, they're not here. I don't have to cook dinner for children and give them baths and do all that. But my work was a huge stressor for me. And it was just a lot of things going on. And here's the thing, Kwame, when I had to think about myself, and I wouldn't think about myself, I kept putting other things and other people and the job and all that stuff ahead of me.
Yeah.
And then when I finally thought about me and said, if I do this one more day, I don't know how this Kim is not going to show up. I don't know what Kim they're going to get.
Yeah.
And I felt such a sense of guilt because I was taking care of me. I was looking out for me and trying to relieve myself of. I had so many people saying, when are you going to go sit down somewhere?
Yeah.
And I think the last time one of the young ladies I had worked with before, and she saw me at an event we did, and she said, "Co, please go take care of what you need to take care of." She said, and I'm going to call you on Monday to make sure you did. And she called me. But I had done what I needed to do. And it's been a couple months now. And I'm feeling much better.
Yeah.
It took me a minute to unravel. I was still waking up at the same time. Like I was getting up, going to work. But that feeling of guilt was overwhelming. That feeling of guilt because I wasn't, what I'm supposed to be doing, and really what I needed to do is take care of me.
Yeah. Now all of that as a Black woman, being a wife, being a mother, a working woman, a career woman, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Career woman. I just thought of a joke that me and my mom had. Anyway, but all of those things, societal issues that are counted as being a Black woman, right? So all of that. Let's add being a first lady on top of it, shall we?
child.
Shall we? Because we were just talking about just kind of dealing with your own and self and
Yeah.
dealing with what you got going on with your family, with your everything. Let's add everybody else's issues onto it too, shall we?
Why not? Just pile on in, you know?
You can handle it. It's fine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I think that is, first of all, ministry is very similar to business, right?
Yes,
Obviously,
very.
in terms of how things are structured, in terms of
Mhm.
how things are navigated, the leadership, all the stuff, whatever. It's a business, right?
It is.
And that's not to diminish or to take away from the spiritual necessity of
Right.
ministry,
Right.
but it's just for lack of a better expression.
Right.
And for relatability. And I say that because in that you oftentimes see parishioners and or not parishioners, excuse me, clergy falling into the same issues as overly stressed CEOs, right?
Yes.
Or overly stressed 9-to-5ers, right?
Yeah.
Because they're not just dealing with the structure of the church and the organization of the church. They're also dealing with people's issues. They're also spiritual counselors. They're also going through. They're constantly around death because they're dealing with funerals. They're being asked to go pray and do all. So they have a lot, and that's just that. We're not talking about all the other stuff. So now we're talking about all of the stuff that you had to deal with as a Black woman, all of the stuff that you have to deal with as a Black wife, as a Black mother, all of the stuff that you have to deal with as a Black 9-to-5er. You know what I'm saying? Now we're talking about adding all of that as a Black first lady of a well-established church.
Yes.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about
right. You know, let me start by saying that I think where we are today in ministry, and when I say where we are today in ministry, I mean my husband and I in Church One ministry, we've been there. Let's see, my son is 31, so over 32, going on 33 years, and 33 years, yeah, and
I know that's right.
so you know how you've been doing something for such a long time, you develop a muscle for it.
Yeah.
That does not mean that you just always do it well. You could do it with your eyes closed. There are some things, yes, because we do it every Sunday or however often. We could do some things with our eyes closed, but
Right.
I don't want to close my eyes. You just never know. So, but you always want to do it with the right intent. So you don't want it to become, mundane, very robotic. We always want the Spirit of God. We always want to be led by the Spirit of God. We always want to do things, in decency and order. And we always want to have the people in mind, because that's what God put us in this position for, is to be a blessing or to lead his people. And so, with all of that in mind, yes, when people are dealing with certain things, going through certain things, you do wear it. You wear it. And no matter how you try to, as my husband and I like to say, wear the church. We wear the church as a loose garment. No matter how you would like to say you do that, you don't always do that. You mentioned something about death and all of that. This past pandemic, all the things that, we were dealing with, so much, death and people being sick, and you're worried about them. And then I end up getting COVID, and the people worried about me and I'm worried about me, and so it was just a lot. And then, you have your single moms, you have, the elderly folks that are in the church, you have the couples, and, just everyone who's coming, and you can look at them and you see that they need something so desperately, and you feel very, you feel very pressured to make sure that you supply that for them. Now here's the thing, and I can't really say this is something that I'm dealing with now, but I have dealt with in the past, where you're trying so hard, you're doing your very best, and some people just, it's not enough.
Yeah.
Or, you know, you have people who just want to hate you just because.
Mm-hmm.
And let's not even talk about the people who want to take your place. Smile in your face all the time. They want to take your place. The backstabbers. Yes. You know, and you have those people there. Now, let me tell you.
Wait, can I? Let me tell you something. Let me tell y'all girls something. You will never, ever be Mrs. Kimberly M. Ervin. Okay, you will never. You see that? Show that rock. Show that rock on your head. That's right. Never. You could never. You could try, but you can't.
Here's the thing. You know, and most first ladies will probably say this to you. Girl, do you even understand what you asking for? Honestly, because, and it's not to knock pastors, bishops, and all of that, because they're wonderful people. They're beautiful men. They're chosen by God, but they're human beings.
Yeah,
they're men. You know, they're mere men. You know, and so they make mistakes. They say things. They get on your nerves. You know, their poop stinks. You know,
right.
And so, you know, people, you know, think they want something because what they see on Sunday is Bishop Ervin all put together, nicely dressed, smelling good, you know, on his best behavior most times. You know, and that's what they see. And so unfortunately, they fall in whatever. I'm not gonna say love. They fall in lust, or they fall in fairyland, you know, whatever that is, about what they see, you know. And there's a lot of work, background work that goes into being the first lady or the co-pastor, or, you know, the wife, the support person for that man. There's a lot. You got to be a coach. You got to be a counselor. You got to be a lover. You got to be a friend. Sometimes, you know, for 5 minutes, you may have to be the mama. I mean, you wear a lot of hats when you are trying to be an encouragement to a man of God, because he wears a very heavy load, you know, or woman, whoever is the person is in charge, you know, and so they're wearing a very heavy load, what that's called ministry. And, you know, it's a big responsibility. And the one thing, and I think Bishop says it all the time, my husband, he says it all the time. I don't want to fail at my job. I don't want to get fired because my boss is God, and I don't want him to fire me, you know? And so it's a heavy load. And, you know, and I love people. I really love people. And so, you know, when I know that people are going through or dealing with certain things, it's a concern for me. It really is a concern for me, like it's my own family or my own situation, you know.
Ray Bishop brought up a very, very good question that I want to bring up, and then I want to go to commercial because it actually leads into what we're going to be talking about really soon. And so he says, can y'all explain why there is an emphasis on doing all of the things as a Black woman versus a woman in general? I know why, but for the non-melanated folks in the back.
Well, because there are more expectations for Black women. You know, first of all, we're always seen, I think you mentioned earlier, we're always seen as this strong rock, you know, a strong Black woman, you know, tough. She's always, you know, it's almost like you see her with a big 100-pound sack on her back, and she's got 10 kids under her arms, but she's moving. Right. You know, if anybody ever paints that picture, I hope they put a big red X over it, because that is not the truth at all. And so we're not humanized many times. We're not seen as delicate, fragile women who are who become emotional, who have feelings, soft, you know, touchable, approachable. And sometimes, you know, we show up like that. So sometimes we kind of make people think that, but sometimes that's just to protect ourselves.
Right. Now, like I said, he brought up a phenomenon, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I was saying hi to CBBK. So thank you for joining. Appreciate you. We're gonna go to a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we're gonna go into a deep dive conversation into the survey that Pyro Media did. I don't know why I was just led to do this, but I really wanted to know the background behind First Ladies and what they experience, the conversations that they're having that nobody wants to have, that are behind the scenes. And so we're going to go into a real deep dive conversation. We're going to go over some of the questions that were asked and the statistics and the ratings that we got from that. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Yeah, we'll be right back with more co-pastor Kimberly Ervin.
Hey.
This episode is sponsored in part by Bullet and Flight Radio. Get ready to uplift your spirit with Bullet and Flight Radio, the world's leading progressive Christian radio station. Experience the vibrant fusion of gospel house music and a rich medley of inspiration from all musical genres that'll make your heart soar. Join their extraordinary lineup of today's trailblazers, visionaries, and voices that matter, all sharing their stories and wisdom. Stay plugged in around the clock as they broadcast unmissable content 24/7. Your go-to station for all things inspiring. Become a pilot today by visiting bulletandflightradio.com. Bullet and Flight Radio. Your story, our station. Step away from the chaos and noise of your daily life. Experience moments for yourself that are calm, serene, and full of peace. A necessary respite to foster growth within you, because self-care should be luxurious. Luxor Noir.
And we're black.
Yes, we are.
Thank you guys for tuning in. If you are just tuning in, do me a quick favor, hit that like button if you haven't done so already, and subscribe to Pyro Media Network or to Kwame Speaks Official if you haven't done so at this time, so you can check out all of the other amazing content that we have when we go live or when we upload. So thank you guys so much for your support, and if you haven't done so, you might want to share right now, because this is going to be a great part. So I'm really excited about this part right here. So as you guys know, we are talking with the one and only co-pastor Kimberly M. Ervin of Church One Ministries, of Pyro Media Network, of all of the things.
The world.
Yes. The world. So, she's worldwide, y'all. All right. We're going to go ahead and get into the survey that Pyro Media did for the time of June 2022 to 21 to July of 2022, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see. Is it on here? Pyro Media Anonymous. Yeah, okay, great. Pyro Media, Samuel, appreciate you. Pyro Media Anonymous case study conducted June 2021 to July of 2022. So I, along with some other of the other staff members, went ahead and contacted multiple churches and asked to speak to their first ladies or high-ranking female leadership. And so we asked them multiple questions, whether they were praise and worship leaders, whether they were ministers of whatever, of their dynamics, depending on the church. Some ministers were in higher ranking positions, but we wanted to talk to senior leadership. And for the most part, they were first ladies, and we talked to them from across the nation, but mostly from California, Arizona, Nevada, Utah, Georgia, New York, Florida. Yes, Florida. And I want to say South Carolina, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
But yeah, so we talked about a lot of different ways. It was a really, really interesting different types of conversations. And so the first question that we asked them was, do you feel like you could be your full authentic self at your home church? And the answers to that, now I want to make sure that we get the anonymous survey. It was 187 women of color and 129 white women who were, or identified white women who answered these questions.
Okay.
So let me go ahead and pull this up here because I can't see this, y'all. My screen is small. So okay, there we go. So it says 50%, 15% sometimes, 75% no, and 10% said yes. What are your thoughts on this?
I'm not surprised. Not at all.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised by, those statistics. The 10% yes, and then the 15. I kind of thought maybe the sometimes would be a little more, just because I feel like church is a little different than what it used to be.
Yeah.
But that's not in all cases, and that's not in all churches. Some churches are still very, very traditional.
Yeah.
So the first lady has certain expectations, the way she dresses, the way she shows up. She should always be smiling, always be happy, always be in, deep, deep love with her husband.
Yeah.
Her children should be perfect. So because I feel like most people are looking for a more real type people, folks that they can touch and identify with. Yeah, I'm surprised that the sometimes is only 15%, but I'm not surprised that the no is the majority.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's go to the next question. The next question is, do you feel like your dreams and aspirations are or have been fulfilled while in ministry? And so the answer says, let's see here. So 17.2% said sometimes, 6.1% said yes, and 70, is that 76? 76.8% said no.
Yeah. Wow. You know what? And unfortunately, again, I'm not surprised by this because I think sometimes as first ladies, you kind of get covered by your husband's shadow, and then you're so busy trying to make sure that everything is going the way it's supposed to go, that he has his needs are all met, the children, and sometimes you can lose yourself. And then sometimes, you can try to make ministry your thing.
Yeah.
Exclusively, and maybe that's not, maybe you want to be a lawyer, maybe you want to be a doctor or teacher, whatever. But sometimes, first ladies, I think people in the past thought first ladies just don't work. They're at home all day, taking care of their children and the husband, praying and just fasting. We want things too, we want careers and, I just blew my kids' minds yesterday. As a matter of fact, we were at my granddaughter's birthday party and we were talking about something. And I said,
"Hey, mommy."
She's 15.
Right.
And so I told them, I said, the crazy part is I have 4 children. I said, and honestly, I didn't want any kids. My mind was, I'm going to college. I'm going to get a career. I'm going to take care of myself. I'm not going to get married. None of that. That all went out the window. But, I was just telling them that before all of this life that they know, the mommy that they know, that wasn't my initial dream. That wasn't what I initially wanted for myself. Now, it changed, some. Of course, I fell in love. But, initially, when I was a young woman, young teenager on up, I was like, no, I think it would be awesome to just be me by myself, not have any responsibilities other than me.
Yeah. Now, I wanted to talk about. Ray says first ladies carry the burden of family and the church, the frustrations of the pastor at home, and have to deal with the disrespect their husbands receive and they receive as a wife. Thankless job. Dr. Holt says, my grandmother was a first lady, and not only her, but our entire family was held to a higher standard. Both my grandparents are gone, and whenever we go back to visit, they think we were the Obamas. That's interesting. Now, I obviously obviously I know I'm a member of Church One, but I know your children. So I have seen, one of the cool things about them is that they kind of stay true to who they are. Yes. I don't think they've ever really had the pressures of being anything other than who they were destined to be, right? And so, which I find really interesting. But I have known other PKs in other churches, and I want to make sure that I'm being very careful, because Church One is kind of an anomaly. It's like, it really is. It's like it's a traditional vibe, but it's not. It's not traditional. It's like a down to earth. Well, it is a down to earth ministry with that heaven bound mission. Okay, praise God. But so Church One is very different, and I don't want to use Church One as an example. I think Church One should be a standard for traditional churches, personally, but I don't think it should be the in this particular conversation. I think traditional churches need to be looking at these statistics and really having conversations within their houses and really figuring things out. But I've noticed with other PKs that I've talked to that they felt a tremendous amount of pressure to be something that they were not. And I often, wonder if you've talked to, hey Lamar, how you doing? Thanks for joining. Appreciate you. I wonder if you've encountered that in terms of conversations with other PKs or even other church families.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And that comment that was said previously, that the first family is held to a higher standard. And that is very, very true. And, and I don't think it's a malicious thing. I just think people sometimes they just have this thought about their first family as being like God, and then their first family is up here. And, we hanging out down here somewhere, but no, the kids that are born to two regular folks that just happen to be in ministry, they're regular kids. I have a 15-year-old granddaughter. My daughter was pregnant, at 19, and we were living a real life. We were dealing with a real situation. My husband and I have been through some things that have been very public. We were living a real life and dealing with a real situation, And so though I know people were standing around watching, waiting to see what we were going to do, we did what people in our situations did. We did our best. To make it out, things that my husband and I have been through. We worked hard and fought hard to make it back to where we should be in a relationship, and my daughter, let me tell you what I did. So when my daughter came to us and told us she was pregnant, I said, okay, we are the first family, and I know people going to have things to say. So I got up and I said, so I'm sure most of you know that my daughter is pregnant, and I said, I don't want anybody to worry about her. She has parents. We got this. We're going to take care of her. We're going to take care of her baby. All we need from you are prayers.
Yeah.
We don't need comments and all that extra stuff,
Right.
We got this.
Right. Keep it cute.
And people, let me tell you, people appreciated the fact that we got up and made, an announcement. Not that we had to, but we did, because we try to be as transparent as we possibly can, but we do have a private life, and so we dealt with that, and I think, well, I know for sure that I've had people come to me who have had similar situations, and they said, you know what, thank you for being so open and so honest and transparent when you guys were having that situation, because it helped me. I didn't pick my daughter out in the streets and do all this kind of crazy stuff. And I'm like, look, here's the thing. Your daughter didn't do anything that the other daughters aren't doing. She just got caught.
No, that's right. Let's be real. Now, I want to. That's honest truth. But I want to get into this next question over here because I think this is really interesting as well. This question for the survey said, do you feel, and for those who are just jumping in, Pyro Media did a survey between June of 2021 and July of 2022. And they asked women in leadership, ministry, and high-ranking leadership, senior leadership, so either first ladies or high-ranking ministers or pastors and things of that nature, what these kind of individual questions, anonymous questions, for them to kind of explain to us what is going on behind the scenes and what is the reality for them. First lady business, if you will. So this next question was, do you feel like you're treated equal to men in ministry? And the survey to this was 72.5% said no, 7.8% said yes, and 19.6% said sometimes. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I mean, even though, we're more progressive in ministry now, there are women pastors now, first ladies who are preaching like myself, who are now the co-pastor and I don't want to say just the first lady, but in addition to being the first lady, because I still have some people who still call me first lady.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, I'm not offended by that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not at all. And some people who call me co-pastor, so, I'm not surprised because, it's a male industry, if you will, it just is. And so, I think because men, the majority of the folks who are in ministry and doing ministry and pastoring have been men, we're still kind of trudging along, trying to catch up. And I will say this, though. I will say that I do feel like there is more respect for women in ministry now and more respect for the first lady. Yeah. Because I have seen first ladies treated like the stuff on the bottom of your shoe.
Oh, honey, I remember I was, let me not tell people's business, but I saw First Lady doing everything. I mean, she was, and one of the things that I respect so much about Bishop Ervin is the fact that there is a respect for women at our church. There's something that, like, you even see it in the lives. You can see when women are coming down the stairs that you see the men rushing to take them out. And that may be small for some people, but that is a big deal to me. I was always taught to make sure that when we're walking down the street, if I'm walking with a woman, I need to be outside, making sure that I'm closest to it. Because if they get hit by a car, I need to get hit first. Right? I'm not saying it because you're protecting them.
And you've done that with me before.
I have. And it's not anything. I know that there's some of these, these women out there like, rah, women. And I'm not taking away your raw, girl, but this is just who I am. Okay, so indulge me a little bit. But my point is, like, I've seen some first ladies that are taking down chairs and opening up the church and, like, bringing, like, it's like, girl, you don't have any men in your church? What is going on?
Right. Now, I will say, Kwame, that there was a time where I did a lot more, like, physically. I did more than what I do now, but of course that we were upstarting, getting things going.
No, I'm not talking about that. No, that's different. When you have a full-fledged church, and I see a bunch of men standing over there, and I see the first lady is pulling chairs out of the truck. No, girl, we have a problem.
Yeah,
we have a major problem.
You're right.
But Inspire had a question where is it possible to now have the pastor treat the assignment as a job and the wife/partner not have to do, quote, first lady role? Interesting. What is your thoughts on
that? Now let me say this, Inspire, that I do know that there are some pastors, male pastors, who they don't want their wives to do anything in ministry. They want their wives to be their wife. Mm-hmm. I want you to be my wife, to be my helpmeet, to be here for me, not the church.
Yeah.
I know a few people like that, mm-hmm. And if that's what they do and that works for them, that's cool, So he doesn't have, like, any expectation for his wife to do ministry. And I think the first lady, mm-hmm. first lady is a title, you know, that doesn't necessarily have a set of job duties.
Yeah.
I think we've added, you know, and I think it's based on whatever kind of ministry you're from. It depends on what those job duties are.
Yeah.
You know, so it could be like my mother-in-law, for instance, bless her heart. She, you know, she would beat you if you were having surgery. She would beat you to your surgery day. She'd be sick in the hospital,
Come on, Granny.
you know, waiting on the family to get there,
Right.
and she would remain there. You know, she went to all the weddings and the graduations, and she taught the little children in Sunday school. You know, I mean, there were things that she did that probably in the ministry arena that she was in, that those were the expectations of the first lady. You know, so for me, it was like, oh, I'm not teaching little kids.
Right.
Love them, have them.
Yeah.
Don't want to teach them in Sunday school.
Right.
You know, and then also it was like, I wasn't a hospital visiting type person.
Yeah.
You know, it was something that was hard for me for personal reasons, you know. And so I think some people had that expectation of me, you know, and they may have been disappointed when, you know, Bishop showed, he's good at that, you know. And when I didn't show up, or I made a phone call and said, hey, you know, love you, praying for you, thinking about you. And then he shows up, it's kind of like, well, where's the first lady? Isn't that her job? You know?
Right. Dr. Hull says those deacons back then did everything but carry my grandparents into the church. Inspire says first lady role should be salaried. Listen, honey, I know that's right.
Inspire, girl, send me your cash app.
Yeah, my grandmother was over the whole Sunday school, but she was a school teacher anyway. Okay, that makes sense.
Yes.
All right, we're running out of time, and I want to get to these questions. So another one that came up was, have you ever felt suicidal during your time as a first lady or leader? Wow. I want to. Okay, let's see here. Now, I haven't seen any of these, FYI, by the way. So it says 67% said yes, 20.5% said no, 12.5% said sometimes. My God.
Now, let me ask, if you know or not, is this related to the job as a first lady?
All of the questions were related and pertaining to ministry specifically, and not just overall, because I know those questions were brought up in the questionnaire when I asked them. They were like, is this relating to work? Is this relating to home? Is this relating to personal life? And I said it really relating to personally, specifically to ministry. And so I will say I see the breakdown over here on the side, and it says that majority of them, high percentage of them were Caucasian women. A high percentage also, second to that was Black women, and second was Latino women, and then third was Black women, and then the fourth place was all others.
Yeah, the black women probably like, y'all ain't taking me out of here.
No, black women like, we don't have time to be suicidal. We don't have time. I got stuff to do, the kids to do. Okay, they got homework due at certain time. We don't got time.
You know, and then too, I think sometimes, you know, first ladies are probably also thinking like, oh no, I'm not about to just check out or just leave or just go my way, because somebody's just waiting to like take my place.
Yeah.
You know, and unfortunately, that is a real thought.
Yeah.
But I'm very sad to see that 67% have thought, well, maybe not.
I will say when I asked these questions to and it wasn't just me, it was also Derek Mitchell. Shout out to Derek Mitchell, who's our production manager. One of the things that consensus that we had that we got from it was the fact that a lot of these questions were in conjunction with other questions. So, for example, a lot of them felt like they weren't able to be themselves. They weren't. They weren't able to kind of. Their feelings were like another one. If I can go over to the next one over here, it says, "Have you ever had to cover up or hide an issue to preserve the reputation of the church?" And that percentage, the results of that was 74.1% said yes, 7.24% said no, 18.5% said sometimes. Now that's a big deal. You know, we're seeing Yeah, and we're seeing a lot of, especially, well, first of all, generally just with Black households in and of itself, we always have that thing where what happens in the house stays in the house, so we don't tell
Yeah.
people our business
Yeah.
or whatever, you know. And then we get, so that goes into another situation where we're not having conversations, and we're repressing our feelings, we're not really seeking, you know, help, we're not, you know, asking for help and all that stuff, whatever. So that goes into another conversation. So I can see how Black women, specifically Black first ladies, and Black ministers and Black female ministers and female pastors and co-pastors can feel that way, because they're like, I'm not able to go to anyone else because I'm that person for everybody.
Thank you. That is such a great point. And not only, you know, it's like I'm the person for all these people, so I'm taking on all these folks' burdens and problems and issues, so it's loading me up. It's my own stuff. You know, and then I think sometimes the first ladies are concerned about the gossip rumor mill. Because if I go talk to this first lady over here, she may give me those concerning eyes and, you know, that pat on the back, but then, girl, she can't wait to like get on the phone and tell my business. And so we're just like most women, period, trying to protect our husbands, our children.
That's interesting. Yeah, I didn't even think about that one.
Yes, we're trying.
Well, you know what they say in chess, because I'm a huge chess fan, and I love chess, and I think chess is really the game of life, in my personal opinion, or a way to strategize. But chess, the queen is the most powerful piece on the board. Of course, the king is, you know, if you get checkmate, that's the only way that you can get, you know, you go win the game. Yeah. If you lose your queen, you're pretty much you're going down.
You know, my husband says all the time, he'll say, and it's a joke, but it makes a lot of sense. He says, yeah, I'm the head, but she's the neck. And
I know that's right. I know that's right.
You know, and the older we get as a couple, he comes to me for my advice. There was a older pastor gentleman who used to be at our church, and you know, he was kind of like a confidant for my husband. And he told my husband, he said, do you trust your wife? And he said, oh, absolutely. He said, do you trust her gut? And he said, I do. He said, always trust your wife's gut. Because we are very connected. Women are connected. We're connected to our children. We're connected to people. We're connected to everything. And so we have that gut check. It's like, something's wrong.
Yeah.
You know.
And Inspire, I see your question. I'm going to ask you after I finish these questions, because we're running out of time and I want to get to these. So the next one is, would you have agreed to take this survey if it were not anonymous?
Ooh.
And so the survey says, hell no.
I'm going to answer that for you.
87.4% said no. No one said sometimes. 12.6% said yes, which was very interesting to me. Yeah, but I think we had more of a bang with our conversations with people, because of the fact that we told them this was an anonymous conversation. An anonymous survey. And so when we told, because one of the first questions that I was getting is, oh, no, I'm not doing this, honey.
Right, I'm sure.
I said, oh, no, it's anonymous. Oh, so my name, I don't need to sign anything. I don't need to put my name in it. Is my face going to be seen? Or are you recording? Right. We're not recording anything. We're not going to tell your name. You don't have to record any type of information. Yeah. We had to constantly reassure them that. And because you said that, it made me, in terms of the last question about protecting your partner, protecting your what you guys built, that was really interesting, and I didn't think about that. But that's one of the reasons why you're the queen.
We're always protecting. Always protecting. You know, just quick. I remember we were living. My youngest daughter was really small. She was outside playing, and all of a sudden, you know, I heard like cops, helicopters, and things, and you know, get down on the ground and put your hands up. And I'm like, wait a minute, my kid is outside without thought.
Yeah.
opened the door, and I'm like, and my husband almost like grabbed me, you know, like, where are you going? I'm like, my kid is outside, you know,
Right.
I don't care. And so he was like, hold up. So we go out there, we look, and the neighbor has her, you know, and so I'm like, but you know, my first instinct is to protect.
Yeah.
I'm gonna protect no matter what. It doesn't
Yeah.
even matter if I go down in flames. I'm protected at all costs.
Yeah. Thank God for you. Inspired said, "How does patriarchy and sexism maintain the first lady role?"
Ooh. I think it depends on how it's set up.
Mm-hmm.
How your structure is set up. You know, it may maintain that, you know, with the fact that, you know, it's set up like men are, you know, the heads and women are not in leadership roles, and women have a place, you know, and their opinions are not needed or heard, you know, but I feel we may be moving away from that. You know, in most churches, not in all, but you know, in most churches, we're moving away from that.
Yeah.
You know, because I mean, that doesn't really exist as much as it used to in the world. So sometimes the church will mirror what's happening out in the world. You know? So.
Thank you so much for coming on today. I would love to bring you on for a part 2. I want to bring other, if I can, because it's really hard to get first ladies on here.
Yeah.
And I understand it. I get it. You know, you know, there's a lot that they have to deal with, and you know, there's presentation that they have. But I thank you for being so brave, so honest, so transparent, and just really dope. So thank you so much for coming in. Yes. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate you guys. Make sure that you tune in to It's Just Kim. You can go over to that. And also Coffee with Kim as well. We got coming in the next month or so. So definitely check it out. And then also check out all things Church One. You can go over to Facebook.com/Church One LBC. And then I believe it's the same for YouTube.com/Church One LBC. Check out, they have some phenomenal sermons. Dante, Dr. Morrison, if you guys remember him, is a minister over at Church One Industries. Church One Ministries. And you guys can go ahead and check out Wednesday in the Word, which has also phenomenal design.
Yes, please.
So, but definitely check it out. Check out all things Church One. And
we're back outside, so in the building.
Come on through.
Right,
And, you want to tell anybody else about what's going on? If you guys are in that Long Beach area, where can they find you guys?
Yes, we are at 700 East 70th Street in the city of Long Beach. Yes, we're there at 9 a.m. in the morning. And like you said, on Wednesdays on Facebook Live and on YouTube, we have our Wednesday in the Word. So we're there. It's quick. 9. We're usually out of there by 10:15 at the latest. Listen, y'all can that's after a good shout too. That's after a good shout.
A good shout, and then you'll still have time for brunch.
There you go.
Inspire says thank you, Pastor Kim, for sharing. Amy Jones says, "Kwame, this is a great show." Thank you, Amy. I appreciate you, Queen. Dr. Holt says, "Great show as always." I appreciate you guys. Fire up. Yes, thank you guys so much for all you guys are doing and for checking it out. Oh, Kyrie came through. I'm so sorry I didn't see your thing. Kyrie is my big bro over there, co-host of Pyro Power Hour. You can definitely check it out tomorrow. We'll be on being ratchet as always. You can check us out on Pyro Media Network. If you are just tuning in, definitely hit that like button on your way out, and also subscribe to all things Pyro Media Network. Subscribe to all things Kwame Speaks Official. We appreciate you. You can go over to my official. Now this one says Kwame Speaks, but it's actually at Kwame Speaks Official. I changed the name across the board to all social media, whether you be on Threads, whether it be on TikTok. I'm really on TikTok. YouTube. I am a TikToking fool, honey. I will be on TikTok. So if you really want to get the tea of what's going on with Kwame, head over to TikTok and check me out over there. Facebook, Twitter. I'm not really on Twitter too much, but Threads, I'm now on Threads, so definitely check it out over there. Also, if you have not done so, head over to luxandnoir.com and you guys can check out all things self-care. Listen, I just sold out of all of the Luxe collection the week before last at the amazing event that was the Phenomenal Brunch, the 3rd annual Phenomenal Brunch. But I am restocking, so definitely. And I have some new stuff coming out this week, brand new stuff coming out this week. So head over to luxandnoir.com so you can sign up for our Candle Collective, and you'll be the first one to know when we're going to be launching new things or when they're going to come out, so you can grab them while you can. And then like I said, all things on social media. And then if you want to, this is all about productivity, this is all about just kind of business development and personal development. If you need help with planning, if you need help with organizing, you can definitely hit me up at with the KC3 agency at kwamespeaks@outlook.com, or you can contact Pyro Media Enterprises directly to sign up for our KC3 groups. And those are really ramping up. I have a sign over here, but you guys can't see it on this webcam, but it's called Humble Hustle, and it's a part of our mission that we're doing right now. It's our theme for our group. So if you want to join those groups, I think it's only $5 or $10 a month, one of the two. I don't remember what tier there are, but they're in-depth groups, and we can go ahead and help you guys stay organized and also find ways to kind of expand your personal organization and business organization as well. So definitely check it all out. And that's all I got, y'all. Oh, wrong song. that was actually Never Ending Nina in her video. But that was from another one. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. I'm not rational. I'm the classy one. Lies. Lies and deception. Have a blessed evening.
Have a blessed evening, Inspire.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you again, co-pastor, for being on.
Yes. Thank you for having me.
Of course, anytime. You're welcome back anytime. And I know you have a tremendously busy schedule, so thank you so much for taking the time.
Absolutely.
And you guys, don't forget, today is a great day to have a good day.
It is.
Yes.
Keep on doing it.
Keep on keeping on, in the words of my spiritual mama.
Yeah.
Love you guys. Create a great one.
Love you. Bye.